It is 1:40. I am Andrew Brooker with your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com. Make it 3 home runs in 3 games for White Sox All-Star Tristan Peters. Peters hit his 10th home run yesterday, but the Sox couldn't get more than 4 hits, losing to the Rangers Monday 11-2. Jose Urquidy couldn't gain control of his pitches and was bounced after 3 innings and only allowed 5 runs. The bullpen allowed 6 more as the Sox dropped to 10-12 this month and are now 2.5 games ahead of the Guardians in the division race. They will host the Rangers again with Anthony Kay on the mound tonight. Cubs are 14-8 this month as Kevin Gausman spins a shutout, and the Cubs mashed the Diamondbacks 7-0. Gausman pitched 7 innings of no-run ball, only allowing 3 hits and striking out 6 with 1 walk. Gausman's support came from the bottom of the order with back-to-back home runs from Michael Conforto and Carson Kelly, both coming through in the clutch to put the Cubs up 5-0, and the Cubs did not look back from there. They added on 2 more runs in the bottom of the 7th inning and went ahead and went up and did not look back from there. Cubs have Clay Holmes on the mound at 8:40. Bears unveil a alternate uniform for Christmas Day against the Packers. Blue jersey with a lot of orange added in. The uniform will stay in the rotation for at least 3 years upcoming. Training camp starts at 1 p.m., with it being the last open practice for fans, and Ben Johnson is expected to speak to the media before workouts. Bears are at Tennessee for the preseason finale Saturday. And the Big Ten is set to pass a rule today that doesn't allow players to return to the NFL return from the NFL and play for a Big Ten school. Anyone who has declared for the NFL draft and did not withdraw, appeared on an NFL roster, or signed a contract with a pro league cannot be on a Big Ten roster. This has been your SportsTownChicago.com update, brought to you by the Illinois Media School. If interested in a career in media, go to beonair.com.
It's Hester trying to work it back to the middle. Gets past the first wave, and here he goes. It's Hester inside the 30. Hester's gonna
You've heard the final whistle, you've seen the scoreboard, but the conversation is just getting started. Welcome to the 5th quarter, where we break it all down, analyze every play, and give you the perspective that goes beyond the game.
Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. The Cubs win it. Anderson hits it in the air right. Back at the wall, and the White Sox win it. That ball hit deep in left center field. Flies back. Makes the catch. What a play.
Game might be over, but we're not. Opinions, hot takes, and everything they didn't say on the broadcast. This is the 5th quarter.
Welcome in, everybody, to the 5th quarter. I am your host, Andrew Brooker. Thank you so much for tuning in on the YouTube side as we take our silly radio show and move it into a more video platform. Today we're going to be discussing the same things we normally discuss on the show, as Adam, my good producer, has always said. It is a baseball-first podcast, or baseball-first video series, I guess, whenever we want it to be, and that's mainly me, because I just can't stop talking baseball. So today we will go over the Cubs series, we will go over the White Sox series and everything that they've done in between, and then we will also check in with everybody's brand new favorite segment here on the 5th quarter, and that would be I Have a Question with Mr. Adam Schneider. So you will hear from him later, absolutely. And all of that and more, to come for the show. Adam putting up there that, I'm hoping the Saints have no more injuries, and that is the absolute truth. If I read one more thing about Alvin Kamara or Jordan Tyson, or God forbid Eric McCoy goes down and this entire offensive line becomes a shell of what it needs to be in order for the Saints to actually produce a run game, I will be very, very distraught at it. Yeah, thank you. A little knock on wood there from Adam. I appreciate it nonetheless, and praying that the Saints have no more injuries. But I think it's now time we move into our first segment, and that will be about the Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs are just dominating right now, doing so good, 7-0, and the bottom of the lineup bats got incredibly hot. Carson Kelly and Michael Conforto both having wonderful games. Conforto went 3 for 3 and had 2 RBIs and a walk as well. Carson Kelly and him both contributed to back-to-back homers, and it was absolutely amazing for them. It's kind of a day set from removing, the franchise record with 15 runs scored in 2 outs in an inning. The Cubs were back at it again on Monday. Each of their first 5 runs coming with 2 down in the frame, including those back-to-back home runs from Michael Conforto, which went 431 feet, and Kelly in the 6 as well. Following the latest barrage, the Cubs sit atop of the heap with 274 runs scored in such scenarios. Add in their defensive acumen that they have around the club in terms of Nico Horner and Dansby Swanson. PCA obviously continuing his MVP conversations and really swinging odds there with his center field defense. And you're seeing right here now all of the walk-offs and home runs and wonderful times that the Cubs have had at Wrigley Field and all across this season. They've been laser hot. Now their defense is at the top, their offense is at the top, and this team looks absolutely dangerous on what they could do. And it all comes based off of their defense. But you don't need defense all that much when you mention what has happened to the Cubs pitching staff recently. The Cubs pitching staff has absolutely dominated, and last night it was Kevin Gausman. For the better part of 4.5 years, he was, a bona fide ace for the Toronto Blue Jays. He is a World Series tested veteran. He brings a lot of nasty stuff when he steps on the mound, including a fastball splitter mix that is one of the best in baseball. He displayed both in a dominant outing on Monday. Gausman was in top form really to start for his 4th start in Cubs blue, and he twirled 7 shutout innings, 7 innings pitched, only allowed 3 hits, only walked 1, and struck out 6. They jumped up in their race against kind of what is the big brother of the NL Central right now in the Milwaukee Brewers. But as mainly due to the Brewers having a day off. But, you can still get excited about, shortening that down and gaining a half of a game back on the National League Central race. They now sit 5.5 games out with 30 games to play. Philadelphia lost, and the Cubs kind of strengthened its hold on the top wild card spot. Now 3 games up on the Phillies and 5 up on the 3rd place Padres in that wild card race. Gausman absolutely doing amazing. He tied a season high, marked his 3rd scoreless outing of the year, and he ran all on exactly what I was talking about earlier, that 4-seam fastball splitter combination. He threw 62 of 94 pitches as his 4-seam fastball, and almost the absolute rest of them were splitters. Gausman kind of showing that when you have a 2-pitch mix, if it's nasty enough, it does not matter at all. He registered a career-high 24 called strikes, including 4 of those on strikeouts, just absolutely freezing hitters. Coming out of that same arm slot angle, that fastball and that splitter kind of look exactly the same until one just drops off of a cliff. You get that added velocity change between the 2 pitches, and it really helps, kind of pitchers be wary of it. Gausman splitter entered the night as the 3rd highest whiffed on pitch in the major leagues. The players whiff on it over 41% of the time at his splitter. Really favorable for Gausman. And even when they do manage to make contact again, it's often not favorable. He's got the 4th lowest hard hit rate in Major League Baseball at under 24%, and the 5th lowest slug. They're only slugging 279 among splitters in baseball. Just absolutely filthy stuff from Kevin Gausman there, and just as I'm saying, he looked wonderful. A lot of Cubs fans have been wondering when Kevin Gausman was kind of going to return to what they had seen, that bona fide ace level. His first couple starts for the team, not exactly kind of showing what they wanted, especially due to the amount of prospects and everything that they gave up. But I think the Cubs have plenty to look forward to for the rest of this season and look to continue to stay hot going into a rematch tonight. The rematch tonight probable starters being Clay Holmes and Brandon Pfaadt. Clay Holmes, after 5 1/3 innings of one-run ball against the Chicago White Sox last, kind of looks to continue his stretch after returning from a long IL stint. Kind of the perfect pitcher for this this Cubs team. Lots of ground balls, pitching to contact, allowing the best defense in Major League Baseball to really show out and go ahead and make some wonderful plays for him, not have to work too hard. And his past 2 starts, he has gone 11 1/3 innings, only allowing 1 run. But it was both Milwaukee and the White Sox. So 2 wonderful starts for Clay Holmes, and look to see if he can get another one against the Diamondbacks tonight. And against him, I know that number may confuse some people, 3.39 ERA, but that is Brandon Pfaadt, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Brandon Pfaadt because, my goodness, he is looking to stay so laser hot right now. Pfaadt kind of the same thing as Clay Holmes, kind of coming back from not exactly an IL stint, but did come back from being thrown down to AAA and told to figure his stuff out. He had it close to 7 ERA earlier in the season. He's dragged it all the way down now to 3.39, but that is not the story. The story is over the past 7 starts, he has had a sub-2 ERA over 40 innings, 1.83 over his past 7 games. So whatever he found in AAA is absolutely critical to the Diamondbacks winning today, especially with them still missing all-star Ketel Marte and that kind of situation still being left up in the air for a lot of what they're going to continue with. So we look forward to see what happens in tonight's game. Tonight's game, I believe, is at 8:40. It is a later game as they are playing in Arizona. So look to see maybe the ball's flying a little bit. Maybe that will go against Clay Holmes' favor and everything like that. Hopefully Pfaadt does the same as well. Pfaadt is more of a fly ball pitcher, so he could be in danger after a lot of those Cubs homers that we saw earlier this year that leads them to getting plenty and plenty of walk-offs. But when we come back here on the 5th quarter, we are going to talk the White Sox and everything that happened on Monday that a lot of White Sox fans would like to forget at Guaranteed Rate Field. A lot of people would maybe call it being robbed of a game 1 after a lot of things that have happened. So when we come back here on the 5th quarter, lots of White Sox, and then I have a question with Adam Schneider when we come back right here on the 5th quarter.
We all have our journeys that we cannot shy away from. For bulls and their riders, these journeys started before they were even born.
Oh, you think this is a game? Nah, this right here, this is the NBA G League. The world's most game-recognized game league. The most groundbreaking league. Most get that weak stuff out league. The most graduated league. Welcome to the world's most G League.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team. Plus, one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Prepare to experience an adrenaline shot of raw excitement like never before. The Professional Bull Riders Teams Championship is coming to Las Vegas. The world's top bull riders are teaming up and going head-to-head for the ultimate title of champions. October 20th through 22nd at T-Mobile Arena. Get your tickets now at AXS.com. Be a part of history and witness one team walk away with it all.
We all have our journeys that we cannot shy away from.
Welcome back, everybody, to the fifth quarter. I am your host, Andrew Brooker. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Earlier, we talked all Cubs and everything to come in that series, including Clay Holmes' start against Brandon Pfaadt and what you can expect to see from there. But now we are going to move into more of a South Side conversation. It is a sad one once again. The White Sox are now 10-12 this month, and their lead has dropped from 7 games to 2.5 over the Cleveland Guardians. So a lot of White Sox fans, including myself, a little worried about how the team has performed recently, especially with the lack of pitching, with Davis Martin being on the shelf, Noah Schultz not exactly living up to an overabundance of hype that he had originally, and Luis Castillo certainly struggling after his great outing this past week. But it all kind of came to a head in the second inning. Brandon Nimmo landed on the warning track on Monday at right field and kind of dropped to a knee. He looked kind of like emphatically, pumping his fist as he ran off the field. It just sucked the air right out of the Southside crowd. He robbed Andrew Benintendi of a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first inning of Texas's 11-2 win. Rangers starting pitcher Kumar Rocker left a 1-0 sinker over the heart of the plate, and Benintendi hit it 96.4 miles an hour per Statcast. Ball went a projected 353 feet. You can see the home run robbery there. Just absolute. And when we're a pitcher, I love this reaction from Kumar Rocker. There's nothing better than getting a home run robbed, or especially early in the game when you don't want momentum to swing one way, and it certainly kind of swung the direction towards the Rangers. Had the ball flown over, the White Sox would have tied the game in that first inning. Instead, the Rangers held a 2-0 lead and the momentum. Rocker did give up a homer later that Nimmo couldn't rob. But we will get to that in a little bit. I currently wanted to talk about just kind of what's been going on with the White Sox recently. Lots of struggles. We haven't seen much from a lot of the players that we've been expecting good things from. Miguel Vargas and Munetaka Murakami kind of having a down week. Maybe sort of month. They've had their shining moments over this month, but not really done a whole lot where it's very exciting for them. Miguel Vargas had that series against the Cubs in the Crosstown Classic where he absolutely did so well and demolished baseballs for them. We've seen good outings from Jose Urquidy. This was not one of those outings. Struggled very, very much. Only got through 3 innings, allowed 5 different runs, and really just struggled completely to find the zone. A complete difference from what we saw after we saw him with the opener, and then he went 6 shutty his last, not necessarily start, but he went 6. It was a long relief outing, technically, due to them having an opener. So I kind of have to pull myself from that. Whenever I see six innings pitched, I always go, oh, yeah, Jose Urquidy's start. When that's really not the White Sox MO right now. It's definitely more of the
a Sean Newcomb open and then Urquidy.
Yeah, absolutely. They decide, we're going to have Newcomb open, or we're going to have Brian Hudson open. Lots of bullpen-esque games being, thrown together by Will Venable right now. But time to move it into some positives, and that's Mr. Banana Boy Tristan Peters. Tristan Peters, 3 straight home runs in 3 games, including that walk-off against the Mets and hitting it off Kodai Senga the other day. Peters has looked absolutely phenomenal and kind of been really helping the White Sox in terms of what they're looking for. Had some rough plays in the Rangers game yesterday on Monday, but looking good, homering well, kind of doing a great job at making sure that this White Sox team has something to look forward for and still can increase that power and have all of those things go on. So really exciting to see him get his now 10th homer of the year. Kind of caught that slider from Kumar Rocker perfectly. Rocker only went 5 innings, and he went 5 2/3 innings of work, allowing 5 hits and 3 walks. But he kind of locked in when Texas needed it, including that Brando Nimmo homer that definitely helped him stay in the game much longer. You'd like to think the White Sox had a chance later in the game, but they didn't do necessarily over much. There was some great defensive plays that they went ahead and made a nice throw in to cut off Jake Berger, former White Sox, from trying to get a triple, which thank God that didn't happen. A Jake Berger triple would have been something that I don't know if I could have recovered from. But tonight the White Sox have their lefty Anthony Kay on the mound. He will kind of approach this a little more relaxed, I'd hope, considering that he has not necessarily been the greatest for the White Sox so far. He has a 3.96 ERA, 104 strikeouts, and a 9-6 win-loss record. So the White Sox tend to do well with Kay on the mound, but he is kind of completely up in the air on whether he'll go 3 and get absolutely shelled or if he actually has a decent outing. We've seen him go 7 and 6, and those extended outings that really help the bullpen for what we were talking about earlier in the fact that the White Sox do a lot of openers and different things like that. And going against him, I mean, good Lord, it's Jacob deGrom. deGrom, his ERA doesn't necessarily look overly that good, but when he is on, he is on. The former Cy Young winner is a absolute stud of a pitcher. He got a 3.77 ERA right now and 157 strikeouts, 9-8 win-loss record. So the White Sox will hope to get back into it quickly against the Rangers and really push forward and try to continue on with those wins. Don't want it to happen where you end up having it be slowly but surely knocking everybody closer and closer to the White Sox in what is a incredibly close AL Central race with a lot of pivotal games to go on here. But when we come back, it's going to be everybody's favorite segment. We're going to bring on Adam Schneider, and if he has one thing, he's got questions. So all that and Adam's questions right here when we come back on the fifth quarter.
We all have our journeys that we cannot shy away from. For bulls and their riders, these journeys started before they were even born.
Oh, you think this is a game? Nah, this right here, this is the NBA G League. The world's most game-recognized game league. The most groundbreaking league. Most get-that-weak stuff out league. The most graduated league. Welcome to the world's most G League.
NBAstore.com, the official online store of the NBA, and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NBA fan gear. With unique designs by Fanatics, Nike, and all the latest styles for every NBA team, plus one-of-a-kind products and authentic collectibles. Shop now and get today's special offer. NBAstore.com, a Fanatics experience.
Prepare to experience an adrenaline shot of raw excitement like never before. The Professional Bull Riders Teams Championship is coming to Las Vegas. The world's top bull riders are teaming up and going head-to-head for the ultimate title of champions. October 20th through 22nd at T-Mobile Arena. Get your tickets now at AXS.com. Be a part of history and witness one team walk away with it all.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the fifth quarter. I am your host, Andrew DeBrooker. Thank you so much for listening to me yap about baseball once again in Cubs and Sox and everything like that. And I know I talk a lot about sports, and I'll let you know you're not the only ones that have to hear it. Sometimes I have to badger my own production crew and my own producer in one, Adam Slim Schneider, into just listening to me talk about sports. But Adam has a baseline knowledge of a lot of sports. He's very good at what he does. But when we're trying to get him to dig a little bit deeper, so we came up with this good old segment, this I Have a Question with Adam Schneider, and my goodness, run the intro!
I got a question, man. Kind of had to improv here. So, my name is Adam. Anyways, I got a question.
Some difficulties with the
Yeah, he didn't load up the thing. That's okay. We'll chalk that up to just that's oopsie poopsie.
Oopsie poopsie.
Quickly before you guys get into yours, I know you
Yes.
got it scheduled. We had a report from our guy Schefter. Jamar Chase, a little banged up in training camp. I just wanted to maybe ask your initial thoughts on that, and or any other big training camp injuries that came about that you're kind of harping on.
Yeah, the ones that are kind of big news right now, including that Jamar Chase one, would be Ashton Genty as well. That happened on Sunday. Really terrifying there. I don't know if a lot of people listen to me talk fantasy football, but I was a Jaden Higgins guy as well, and he tore his ACL, so he will be out for the season. I think I'm definitely a little reluctant to draft players that have non-contact injuries. Like we watched the clip of Jamar Chase earlier before we went on the show, and it was just really rough to see how he landed and everything like that. And then hearing about the Genty situation, them stopping practice, taking a knee, doing all of these things. We have reports so far from Schefter and from Ian Rappaport that it is a high ankle sprain, but the Raiders haven't said anything, which is what really terrifies me when the team even hasn't come out and put him on the injury list with certain kind of things.
It was that and the report of a prayer circle behind Genty
yes,
that really
that was
concerned
what
me.
really threw me, was the fact that they all took a knee. Normally that happens when it is something incredibly serious. So I'm a little hesitant now to maybe draft Jamar or Genty very highly. I'd definitely be more intrigued now on a T. Higgins. I think that the Mike Washington stuff's a little bit overblown, so I wouldn't necessarily buy into that. But I did like him in Arkansas, so I think that's kind of where I stick on those. I try to take everything with a grain of salt that comes from training camp.
So, I got my questions lined up, and I got question one.
Yes.
With the way the White Sox are currently, is there a chance that they can at least keep up with a contender in the playoffs, or is this the next step going forward?
Well, the interesting thing there is there's only 4 teams that have winning records in the AL right now. That would be the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Yankees, and then also the White Sox, as you mentioned. So they're definitely one of the top teams in the AL in my mind. My question would be, how is the pitching going to look? I have a big problem with how we're kind of spacing out this. You normally view the wild card. You want to view it as like a 3-game sort of view. So who you're giving to in game 1, game 2, and game 3 are the most important, so that you can get a sweep, you can get guys rested up, and then you can go on into that next series and do really great. The question to me is, after Sean Burke gets it, is it a tired Davis Martin? Is it an inconsistent Luis Castillo? I don't think you can necessarily hand the ball to Anthony Kay in one of those positions. If Game 3 is like a winner take all, I certainly don't want Kay being that Game 3 starter. So I think it's all kind of dependent on how their pitching looks in the postseason, whether or not they can compete with a contender. I think the Rays have a good pitching staff. I think the Red Sox have a fantastic pitching staff, and the Yankees are getting healthier by the day. Judge and everybody will come back, but I know Rodon is expected to come back. They just got Garrett Cole back. Ryan Weathers has been looking fantastic. So I think with the pitching staff that the White Sox have, that is how you should picture them in contending with any contending team in the AL playoffs.
I mean, that's good to know also, because also it's just they are a young team, and I'm very interested to see just again they have not had a playoff win since '05, if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
And
actually the Astros game.
Oh, okay.
2019.
Okay,
Gary Garcia,
then
baby.
I think a correction, but I guess more continuous playoff success is kind of where I'm more trying to get to.
I think they're on the path.
Okay, cool.
I like what they're doing, what they're building over there.
So I got another question.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of most improved teams, or quote unquote team with an S, in the NFC South, which team do you think has the best chance to make the most noise, if that's even possible?
You know I'm going to homer here. You know
I gave you a soft toss.
You know I'm going to go ahead and homer, so I don't have much time to yap about my Saints, but I will say that I think the continuity on the offense is very impressive for me. I know the injuries are something to worry about with Jordan Tyson and everybody like that, so that is incredibly difficult. Definitely worried about the injury health on that team. Eric McCoy has only played 7 games in each of the last 2 seasons, and without him, their offensive line looks kind of lost. I think it's a good offensive line, but without McCoy, it really struggles in the later sort of time, of the season and how their running game's going to do. I think their defense is questionable, but with how they're going to replace their linebackers, they added Caden Ellis. I don't think he's as good as Demario Davis. They added Martin Emerson Jr. to help with Quincy Riley and Kool-Aid McKinstry on the corner spots, and I think that's very nice. I'll be interested to see how their defense kind of looks towards the end of everything. But thank you guys so much for tuning into the 5th quarter and hearing me ramble about the White Sox, the Cubs, and the Saints, everybody in between, Jamar Chase and Ashton Genty. And we will be back tomorrow right here on the 5th quarter.